Not anymore, because we got some fancy LED lights that can connect to Wi-Fi and change color.
Oh, well, you still got to worry about infant mortality with those.
Yeah.
What?
But thankfully there's no infants around.
What?
What?
I don't know about this. Infant
What?
mortality with LED lights?
Oh, yeah, that's the term. For when, like, do you not know about the bathtub curve?
No.
Okay, I guess not everyone went to an engineering school.
No.
Hello and welcome to RTFB. This is Travis, and today Chris, Danielle, and I are talking about Dune. The new movie, the books, the older movie, facial hair choices, the works. We'll be covering all the different versions of the story in kind of an inside-out order, so if you've only seen the most recent movie and don't want to spoil the rest of the plot, we're going over that movie first, and you'll have a built-in escape hatch sort of around 35 minutes in, so you can miss the discussion of the books and the David Lynch version of the movie if you want to learn the story from the new movie series. If you still need to watch the latest movie, it's streaming on HBO Max until November 21st, so get a move on before it drops off of there for a while. Or if you're vaxxed and boosted, IMAX does seem like the way the film was meant to be seen, so hit up your local theater. They have popcorn. Also, if you wanted to watch the 1984 version of Dune, that's also on HBO Max until, I don't know. Anyway, once you've done the needful to get yourself comfortable with spoilers, let's get back to my conversation with Chris, and Danielle already in progress.
Yeah.
No,
I want to learn.
Yep.
So, things tend to fail either really early or really late. So, like a light bulb might die after, I don't know, a few weeks.
Mm-hmm.
I got
And
you.
that's infant mortality.
Okay. I thought this
But
was gonna
then
be
if
like...
it survives that period, then it'll probably live for a really long time. Same thing with like I don't know, like an engine or something like that. Just there's some cars just aren't built well enough,
I got you.
or
Makes
like
sense.
whatever.
Now, see, I was thinking of like ceiling fan death, like Korean
Yeah.
fan
Oh.
death for infant mortality. Like I thought,
I was thinking LEDs cause like infant seizures or something, so
I mean,
They might.
we don't know that they don't. Yeah.
that's true. I haven't done a study. I don't know.
what the hell, guys? And it's
I
like
don't
November.
That's what I can't really fathom, it being November.
There's Christmas lights on our street.
Oh, what?
Yeah, they were up
Dude, the
before
shopping-
Halloween.
They're up during
Oh,
Halloween.
God.
Yeah, a lot of people during Halloween had like their Christmas lights on in Christmas colors, but they were still giving out Halloween candy, so I was
That's
very
weird.
confused.
Simon
Yeah,
was
that's
yelling
weird.
at them
Simon was yelling at them.
while they were
Good.
standing
They
on their
need to
porch.
respect the holidays. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Simon was like,
I was
Do better.
surprised.
Listen,
I
I'm
was
all
leaving my
for through
synagogue.
Halloween, but like now it's Christmas. Sorry, Christmas is now until the end of the year.
No.
That's Christmas.
Thanksgiving.
yeah.
Nah,
Family-
Thanksgiving is the one day. Sorry.
Family feed your face. That's the thing to focus on this
That's
month.
right. Get
My
ready
pilgrim ancestors. Come on, give them their due.
So many calories to eat
Yes.
before Christmas.
I was surprised to see the strip mall complex near my synagogue had all their lights up when I was coming home. I'm like, oh, yeah, I guess they would do that like right after Halloween, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
Well, our Christmas lights were supposed to go up on Wednesday, but it was raining, and we haven't gotten a schedule change yet, so I don't know when they're going up.
Well, when I was growing up, they didn't go up until after Thanksgiving.
Well, ours will
So-
go up whenever the people come to put them up, because
Ah.
we don't put them up ourselves.
I
it's
see.
too high up.
Yeah, you have to go
too
by someone
clumsy.
else's schedule, then. That's fair.
Yeah.
Plus, ours was just throw some lights on our bushes. And
Yeah.
Mom knew how to connect them to the light switch so we could turn them off and on from the inside.
Like,
There
oh
you go.
man, it is fancy now. They glue the lights around the window with like super glue,
What?
or not super glue, hot glue,
That's strange.
and then they go on roof clips all
Yeah.
around along
And
the
then we
roof
That
have
line.
makes sense.
Our Wi-Fi outlet, so we can just turn it on. Make
With Google.
do it. Google, turn it on.
That's pretty cool. Not gonna lie.
It was okay, except then
12-year-old
sometimes Google doesn't
Mind
listen.
would have been blown.
Yeah, Google doesn't always listen.
That was my favorite part of last Christmas, is Danielle getting sassy with Google.
Gosh.
Google, light them up.
I cannot say whether the Amazon alternative, which is a little older, would do any better. So.
Well, then Travis is like, well, I could just like set up certain times for it to go off and on automatically. Like, yeah, let's just do that. Like, why do I have to talk to it?
It's not as cool.
Because then you'll feel like you live in the future, Danielle, and you have to verbally
like you're
tell
on
it to
Star
do something.
Trek when you're like, computer, lights.
Like, Google and I
Right.
already have a love-hate relationship. I'm always yelling at her. She never understands what I'm trying to say.
Really?
It's, yeah.
Danielle, I guess,
Google-
is unfortunately one of the people that happens to. I don't know.
Google not only understands me, but understands me when I speak Japanese, which is like really weird.
Wow.
That's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
It's just preparing for when the robots take over and kill us off.
I guess.
It's coming before you
I
know
don't think
it.
Alexa could do that. Recognize
Yeah,
me
maybe.
speaking Japanese or anything.
Yeah,
She's got a
maybe.
lot of skills, but not that one, I don't think.
I'm just waiting for
So-
the program that actually responds better when it detects you're angry.
Yeah.
Because that's Danielle's approach.
Where it's
Yeah.
like, whoa, 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 whoa.
Okay, sorry. I'll turn on all the
Hey.
lights. I'm sorry. God.
Yeah, eventually she figures it out. But it's
Yeah.
really obnoxious.
Oh, I meant to share a thing with you guys earlier about
Mhm.
speaking of Christmas lights, and I didn't. It's good old anti-Semitism
What?
that some asshole talked about. Let me see if I can find it. I screenshotted it. So there's someone called Jacob Wohl. I don't know who that is.
I've heard of
But
him.
he says, I firmly believe that every Jew in America should decorate their home with Christmas lights. It's called assimilation. America is a Christian country.
No. No, we aren't.
Yeah.
Yeah. And my whole response to that thread, which is preaching to the choir, I was like, yeah, but you see, we have this whole little holiday about not assimilating, about this war we had like
It's coming up
2,000 years
soon.
ago,
Yeah.
where we kicked people out because they tried to make us assimilate. You know, it's called Hanukkah, so
I've heard of this.
yeah.
I have heard of
They
this.
tacked on later when the Romans were coming down on them hard during the Bar Kokhba rebellion. Because the Romans were like, we're going to, like, just, you can't teach the Torah anymore. You can't circumcise your babies. All that kind of shit. We're going to end this shit. And then we're like, oh, no, don't worry. This holiday is not about bucking your authority. It's about a lovely little miracle with some oil. Yeah. That's what it's about.
That's the ticket.
It all depends
Yeah.
on their narrative.
It's not kicking out people
What
who
it
try to
stands
make
for.
us change.
You gotta fit
you
the
know.
narrative.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Gotta fit.
But that was fun. I'm like, oh, okay. It's nice to know people think that way publicly.
Yeah, people are awful. Humans are legit terrible.
We
This is
are
why
a
the
lot of
Earth is
time.
killing us off, like actively.
Unfortunately, like there's a lot of cool things that pop out of humanity, but humans, on the
Alright,
whole,
name
can be
three.
rather dickish.
I challenge you to name 3.
I mean, wait,
What?
did you heard about like JFK coming back, right?
Electricity. No, I did. It was JFK Jr. who was supposed to come back.
Right. He's been
three
faking dead
things. Let's
for
see.
20 years.
Electricity, the polio vaccine, and the internet. And that's
Alright.
just recent
yeah,
stuff.
okay.
So
That internet is pretty cool.
you know,
We couldn't be talking
hello,
like this
Kitty.
without it.
right?
Yeah. Good old internet.
Well, just
I
know,
was kind of.
just know that all those people that think that JFK Jr. is coming back, like they all get to vote.
Yeah.
Like they all still get to vote. Those crazy people.
Well, here's the problem. The minute we start restricting votes, then they'll do it to us when they get in
Correct.
power.
Mm-hmm.
But
They're
just
already
know
doing it.
that
Gotta
like
leave it open
those
for
stupid
everybody.
people are the reason that we are in the
They'll
situation.
say the
we're
same
in
thing.
today.
Like, those people believe in global warming and gravity, so they can't vote.
Yeah.
That's right.
The worst thing
Yep.
to think of.
It's like
Gotta
wars are
help
coming.
everybody.
I feel a war coming.
Oh, boy. Wow.
Hope not. I don't want to do that.
We need to avoid the jihad.
I don't know, man.
Yep.
Just like Paul in this book.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
terrible
Yeah.
purpose.
His
Yeah.
glorious, terrible purpose.
Yep. It's going to be something.
Trying to steer us away from the super depressing stuff as much as possible. But
Yeah.
Well, that was a good one. That was a good
Yeah.
segue. Into
Okay.
It, so.
See?
good. I
Yeah.
feel good about myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. We're
Yeah.
foreseeing these possible futures. We've got to do
Right.
all we can to avoid them,
Correct.
however futile those efforts might be. Anyway, so Danielle said we're on a time limit because she's very tired.
I am tired. Yeah, sorry.
Okay, that is fair.
I also didn't know that we were actually recording, but I see now that you've been recording for 10 minutes.
Yeah, so. I always record.
Yeah.
I record you every minute.
Yep.
Of every day.
That's right.
No matter where you go.
You can just cut that depressing stuff out.
I usually do.
Well, I wasn't ready.
So yeah, because Danielle was like, Dune looks really cool. We're going to talk about Dune, right?
Yeah.
But
it was pretty cool.
I want to kind of step through some different things, maybe in the least conversational way, to avoid spoiling the whole thing for people who've only seen the new movie.
Oh, okay.
If that makes sense.
Well, they should read the book.
They should read the book, because it was pretty good. But I was disappointed that the new movie was like, well, that's enough.
Yeah.
I'll just stop.
I mean, I was okay with it because it was like, exactly. Like, how are you going to do it in one movie? And
like David Lynch tried, and that didn't work.
Mm-hmm.
It was a natural spot to stop. I think
it was. I agree.
It is where part 1 in the book ends, so that makes sense. Makes sense. So first,
that's how I knew there was going to be a part 2. Like immediately after it started, and it said part 1. It's like, well, I wonder if there will be more parts. Yes.
Well, I mean, it was not clear that there would be a part 2 until the movie came out.
So I want to get a temperature check. So you've not read the book.
No.
You didn't see the 1984 movie.
Thank God.
Just this movie.
You showed me some clips from the other one, and oh man,
I felt like you needed context.
You didn't see Sting in his fancy future underpants?
I thought it was David Bowie, and it wasn't.
It was not.
It would have been better, maybe.
I saw, and Captain Picard was there too.
Mm-hmm.
I saw a scene.
Yep.
I just showed her some clips, some highlights to get an idea of what it was like.
And then I
with
asked
the mayor of
stop.
Portland.
Right.
So please stop.
All right. So, other Chris, you said you've read the book like a decade or so ago.
Oh, it was a long time ago. It was in. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't. I read it. Probably about a decade ago. Yeah.
And was it just the first book?
Yeah, I only read the first one.
Okay. And now you've seen both movies?
Yes.
Okay. Regular Chris? Already asleep.
There are no regular Chris's.
We've got other and regular.
Yeah. Yeah, I read it like 2 decades ago-ish.
Yeah.
A little less. We were in college.
Well, it's not much less.
And then I watched the sci-fi miniseries when that was out.
What?
Oh, yeah.
They had a miniseries?
Yeah, in 2000.
Oh. I forgot about that.
Until now, that has been the best adaptation of Dune.
I'm going to have to look that up.
And it was like a 3-night show.
Ah.
So when I read the book, I'm like, oh, cool, they did do a good job, because I already know the story, apparently. Just not all the good details and whatnot.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you only read the first book? I haven't
seen the 84 movie, and I don't really want to.
You haven't seen it?
No.
Oh, man, don't.
I think it's worth seeing. Just skip
it's
ahead
awesome.
to some discussion later.
Should I watch it? Okay.
You should watch it.
I've seen a lot of it in that Quinn's Ideas channel that I like.
Yeah.
Because he talks about them all.
Yeah.
So did you read the other books or just the first one?
No. I've just watched synopses of them.
That's probably
so I know what's
fine.
in them, but I don't know all the details. Because I like to fall down rabbit holes of universes that are constructed.
Yeah.
But maybe someday I'll read them.
Yeah.
Because I especially want to get the details from some of the later stuff from like Children of Dune and the one right after that. And like really understand it other than just having the summaries that I know about them.
Yeah. Well, I've only read the first 2 now, but I did it the last couple of weeks, so at least read the second one, because it's really short, comparatively.
I didn't know you'd pop that one out.
Yep. Well, the first one's like 600 pages, and giant, and then the other one's like, I don't know, pamphlet, so it only took like a weekend, so...
Well, I feel like because he wanted to include that in the book originally, but it's like, it's already too big.
Right, right.
The future book.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay, so this was like written by Frank Herbert, right? So he was born in 1920 and died in 1986, so not really that old.
Yeah.
Born in Washington State, also lived in Oregon, and I read that he was supposed to write some sort of like, I don't know, National Geographic article about the Oregon dunes that he ended up going in way too much detail on, and so the story was never published. but served as kind of a baseline for Arrakis, the desert planet.
Yeah. I'd read the same thing.
Yeah. Also, psilocybin was ingested, and that was an inspiration for a lot of the rest of Dune. Like,
that was an inspiration for a lot of things in general, I think.
Yeah.
Yep.
Not just the spice,
of good sci-fi that way.
Yeah. The psilocybin was flowing, and so he started writing some books. But
about dunes,
and sandworms. Yep. But he was married 3 times. Like, he had a kid with his first wife, but divorced after like a year. His second wife died, and then he married his publicist for another year or 2, and then he died. So he lived just about long enough to see the 1984 movie, but that happened to come out the same year his second wife died. So it was a weird year, I bet.
Yeah.
The book was originally published in 2 parts, Dune World and Prophet of Dune, in some sci-fi magazine. But when they decided to publish it as a single book, he rewrote a lot of it, apparently. I want to say it won the first Nebula Award for Best Novel. It was either the first Nebula or first Hugo, because it won both of those. But not exactly a bestseller on release.
Yeah.
But it did just well enough so he could keep writing full time. Which, I don't know, it seems to be a theme with a lot of sci-fi in this era. Like,
yeah.
People are like,
I think it was still niche.
Yeah, genre fiction is a ghetto.
Yeah. The Andes hadn't started coming back from the colonies to consume it yet, so it wasn't as in demand. So he wrote 6 more Dune stories, and then died before he could complete the whole series. So I guess in his writings, there's a couple of plot lines that never really get wrapped up. Although I guess his son tried to write some too.
Did someone finish it for him?
Technically, yes, I've heard that his son did like a Tolkien son and put out what was supposed to be like the last 2, and then he's made a whole bunch of more since then. But those aren't always considered canon factual, but the 2 that were supposed to end it kind of are.
Yeah.
From what I understand, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
So.
I've surveyed one person, being my mom, who has all these books, and she said his sons are not as good, so
that's generally the consensus.
Take her word for it. So.
Now, I did like the Butlerian Jihad, but,
of course.
I'm not a purist, so what do I know?
Of course. Who wouldn't love the Butlerian Jihad? Right?
I don't know. I mean, it's an interesting take on it. So
it was referenced in the book, but in passing. So anyway, new movie, right?
Yes.
What did we all think?
It was amazing.
Chris says it was amazing.
I was just blown away the whole time I was watching it. I'm like, this was worth the wait. And they better make a fucking second one. Because I watched it before they confirmed that they were.
Yeah.
So.
Well, they are, but they haven't started filming it yet.
Well, no. I mean,
so get ready to wait some more.
So I thought that they had started filming it, but they have not.
That was what Denis Villeneuve wanted, to get a good enough one. Because he wanted to just film it like back to back so it'd be done, but they wouldn't let him do that. So
Yeah.
And then COVID.
COVID. Yep. A Butlerian Jihad of its own.
Right?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Other Chris, what did you think?
Yeah, I thought it was really good. It honestly did a much better job of capturing it than I thought it would. Like, I went into it thinking it would be a difficult thing.
Right.
I guess.
Right.
Like, how do you get the story right? And I think that was the thing that surprised me about it, was that it really did get into all the detail I expected. And it wasn't a confusing mess.
Right.
Correct.
Right.
So, yeah.
Thumbs
up.
Danielle, can you comment on the confusing mess?
I thought it was boring as fuck. But I feel like it will be better in the second one, because I think they just set so much up that it was just like, as someone who didn't read this book and was just watching this, it was just like, oh, were they going to do something? And it was like the last 20 minutes, I'm like, oh, now they're doing something, and then it's over.
There will be more action-y stuff.
And like way
In the
more
second one.
Zendaya.
Well,
however
they
you say her
sure
name.
peppered
Because
her
there
in
was
there.
not
Yeah.
like they kept like
She's
I thought she was going to be in
important.
it so much, and she was hardly in it at all. But she'll be in it more.
Yeah, she'll be in it more in the next one.
She was in it more than she merited in that part of the story. There's like, don't worry,
Yeah,
guys.
to
Like,
be
we're gonna
fair.
get there. Like,
Yeah, and she'll be in it.
Here
a
she
bunch
is
in
walking through the
part
sand
two
again.
here.
I mean, we watched it with Levi, and he watched the whole thing too, and he kept being like, "Is she ever going to be in it?" Like he was like me, like yeah, like where is she?
yeah,
A lot of people have remarked on that they for the marketing
Mm-hmm.
and whatnot that she's not in it that much. I'm like, well, but she's a big name, so
I mean, I wanted more of her, if I'm honest.
yeah.
well, I like her attitude with the character, and I'm looking forward to seeing more of her in part two.
Yeah. I think she fits pretty well.
Yeah,
Overall, I liked it. I wanted there to be more of it, though. I'm like, okay, let's go. Next part. Come on.
I know, right?
But yeah,
Yeah.
to Chris, your point, I thought they did a really good job of getting enough detail in there that you wouldn't be completely lost without reading the books. Although I do feel like I was explaining a lot. But I don't know if I had to do that or if it's just like, well, I know what that means, so I'm going to
Right.
be that annoying jerk and tell everybody in the theater, like, oh, you see that? That's because she's Bene Gesserit and she can, like, sense people's emotions and stuff. She's really, like,
Right.
perceptive.
Yeah, I do agree. I think it did well enough with all that so that people who don't know Dune at all can enjoy the movie enough,
Yeah.
you know. Because it's like, that was my whole thing. I'm like, I know all of us who have read it, watched different versions, all this, are probably going to like it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know. But I was concerned, I'm like, to get it, another one, you need people who've never interacted with this stuff to like it too. And I think they've done that.
Yeah.
So,
I think so.
I kept waiting for BB-8 to show up, but he never did. So that
He
was
never will.
disappointing.
there
Yeah,
are
that's,
no robots in their universe
Oh man.
anymore.
Yeah.
Well, there's,
So,
like, androids, though.
not
So,
really.
well,
there is
there's
a little
one.
bit,
Here's my big problem with the story is I don't know how to pronounce any of this shit. Like, I just memorized the combination of letters. I'm like, oh, that's that thing. Like the
Okay.
Thalaxio or whatever people that do something we'll talk about later because it's a spoiler for later books. But yeah, I think that's what I liked the most was the way they worked in kind of intuitively the stuff that all these people are sensing in the book and like you only know about because you're partial to their thoughts. Like
Yeah.
that, like the different hand signals they were giving each other and like not having them whisper overdub stuff like David Lynch decided to do.
right?
Oh, I did like the scary mommy voice.
Oh,
I
yeah,
get
the
like that
voice.
sometimes
Oh, yeah,
too.
the
I'm
way
like,
they-
I can totally relate to this voice.
The way they did the voice was amazing.
Yeah.
Yep. And I love
Yeah.
your description of it, Dan.
Because that happens sometimes when my children don't listen,
Yep.
and I have to yell at them several times, and then they get the scary mommy voice, which it sounds like it is not of this world. And then after that, they tend to listen to what I'm saying. So
Yep.
You don't tell them to stab themselves though. Right?
no, I
Not
don't. I mean,
usually.
usually it's not that violent. That would be frowned upon by society. But no, scary mommy voice. I can relate.
Yeah.
Yep.
I also liked what they did with the technology in it because it's not something that they go into a whole lot of detail about in the books. So it's left to interpretation, but I appreciated that it looked like stuff people might actually build. Even if it
Yeah.
was 10,000 years in the future or whatever. Like, oh,
It's like
the helicopters
20,000 years
sort
in the
of look like
future.
helicopters.
But also
Yeah.
sort of look like weird grasshopper things.
Yeah, like
Yep.
dragonflies. or
They
whatever.
definitely looked like ornithopters.
Yeah, the way they were described. Exactly.
And I loved the feel of how analog all their technology is,
Yeah,
and like how clunky and mechanical, even though it's still better than ours.
right.
Well,
You know,
I mean, again, it goes back to that whole thing.
yes, it does.
That
whole
whole
thing.
thing.
Like I know exactly why, but I love just how well they pulled it off, and
Yeah.
it felt
Right.
very real and touchable is what I want to say, but
Tactile.
I could not touch anything.
Practical.
in that
Tactile's
movie.
better, I think.
You must have a special TV.
Yeah, he has one of those 3D TVs.
I could touch nothing.
Yeah. I thought there was they made a really good choice for Duncan, Idaho. Like a character who's supposed to be like everyone's like favorite guy.
It's just like rad as hell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just how he is.
Aquaman, get him in
Although, I have to say, like, he shaved off his beard and, like, it was just not right. Like, I don't want to look at him like that. It made me uncomfortable. It was a little weird. I think it needed to come back.
Yeah, I'm so used to seeing him with a beard. It was a little odd to see him.
It was so weird. Like I don't like his chin doesn't look right. Like because we don't see it usually. Like it just didn't look like his face. Like did they CGI this? But no,
nope.
I just prefer him with his beard.
You know, that's actually where I noticed Danielle started checking her phone more often. Maybe that's what did it. Like,
but yeah, the phone. Yeah, I
as soon as he shaved, she's like, "Anime."
I was like,
no, thank you.
At first, I was like, "Who is this guy?" Oh shit! What?
Right?
Why is he shaved now?
Yeah.
Because they went to a new place. He had to look fancy, I guess.
I guess, but like, no.
Well, he had been out in the desert with the Fremens for so long.
He had.
So he was like, "I got to clean up."
Like, where was his, like, suntan for where, like, he should have had, like, a big white spot where all that beard was.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just made me, made me uncomfortable looking at him like that.
That's an Encyclopedia Brown type observation. Like, you couldn't have been in the desert for 3 years.
Yeah, like, you don't have a beard tan.
Beard tan.
Yeah.
I like him so much, but I do not like him without his it just doesn't look right. I feel like he usually doesn't have it off, right?
Watch
like
Baywatch Hawaii then, because he didn't have a beard then.
Really? I feel like I've always seen him with one.
You have since those days.
Yeah.
At that role, that was one of his first ones, so he didn't have one yet. So
I do love him though. He's a good actor.
Yeah, and
he did have a beard on Stargate Atlantis by then, so
he had upgraded by then.
Yeah, he had upgraded
to beard having. I would have appreciated it if he had been Stilgar, like he had just been Khal Drogo for Dune, like again, like that'd have been okay too, but no. I liked all the different visual styles they had for the different places, although I liked the Empire the most because it was populated by Daft Punk.
Yeah.
Everyone there is Daft Punk.
That's a good way to put it.
Whatever those stormtrooper guys were called, the Sandukar?
Sardaukar.
Yeah. All Daft Punks.
I literally know no one's name or what anything was called except for the guy was Paul and the mom was Jessica.
Yes.
That's all you need to know.
That's all I know.
That's really it.
I feel like that was on purpose, to be like, you want to identify with these people, I'll give them, easier names to remember. Yeah.
Actual name.
like Ponyo.
Yeah.
Where you had all those Sasuke, but then you have Lisa.
Yeah, Lisa the mom.
Lisa the mom. It's like crazy names.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Paul and Jessica, though, I got them. No idea what the dad's name was. Doesn't matter anymore.
I'll give you a hint.
Duke Leto.
Oh. It was Poe.
Yeah, it was Poe.
It was Poe. Yeah. And where was BB-8? Poe wanted to be a pilot.
BB-8 died
Duke
in that
Leto
bullfight.
Atreides.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was also a good choice. I'm like, I like this guy already. Like, you don't have to establish him. I recognize that guy.
Right.
I like him. He's cool.
Which I guess is what they're trying to do in the 1984 version too. I'm like, oh yeah, I know those guys. They're all cool. That guy's on Quantum Leap. I totally trust him not to betray our family. But anyway, I liked when they were arriving on the planet and they are presenting the Duke's family, and Levi was like, they still have these when they're playing all these bagpipes. He's like, what do you guys do?
It's like, this is so far in the future and they still have these?
Yes, apparently. You probably don't remember why, but they do have them.
Yeah.
They still have them now.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. They're great for big open spaces, so I think the Fields of Arrakis would be a good place for it.
I have to hand it to Levi. He watched the whole thing and he paid more attention than I did, so that props to him.
Well, and right afterward he's like, okay, I'm going to read the book now.
He did.
I'm like, all right, good luck. Then he said, Dad, you're going to read me this book now for my bedtime story. And I said, no.
Like, no, I just read it.
Sorry. I don't think so. Like, that's hard to read out loud.
You just read it. I don't know why you do voices. Like, just read it. They can imagine voices themselves. I don't do that for Simon.
But sometimes they don't prompt who is speaking, and then that becomes confusing. Levi also told us that there are apparently Dune skins in Fortnite.
Oh, of course.
You can have your own still suit. Like, that's something.
All the kids.
I could have gone without knowing
Fortnites.
that. Doesn't impact me whatsoever. But
well, maybe that's why he was so interested in watching it. Who knows? Like, it's like, I've seen this before.
I have never played Fortnite.
We did have movie theater popcorn as we were watching it, so I think that helped like us all stay put because the popcorn was there.
Yep.
And I also like that the very end when Zandaya's like, "This is only the beginning." Audience wink.
It's like,
just so you know.
It's like, wow, you took a fucking long time getting there, but okay, I'm ready for the next. Let's see what happens.
Yeah. That's why I wish it was like
power.
I mean, the movie, I feel like it would have been way better in the IMAX format, like they intended it to.
Yeah, I agree.
But I could also have appreciated it as a TV show. Like, do a full season if you're going to spend all this time, and then have more at the same time, so I can watch the whole part. But
I do feel like they should, because you think there'll be more than a part 2? There'll probably be more, right? Because there's more books.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. What do you think how they're gonna divide it up?
Because
like,
if they do,
so, but I don't know.
If they do more than 2, they should have They should have filmed the 2 so that they could have been like, here's 1, here's 2, and then they could have like taken their time to film the rest.
Yeah,
I
think they need to make more of them just to kind of help people realize that the first book was not the point of the series. Like, it was not telling you what you think you're hearing with it.
Right.
You know, we've all talked about before, there are specific themes that Frank Herbert had in mind for this spread out over time story to teach us in an entertaining way lessons about humans and how we operate politically and stuff like that.
Right.
And since a lot of people only ever watch or read Dune, stuff like that, they miss out on it. And, they don't even finish the Paul Atreides story to learn what happened to him.
Yeah.
So
that's why I think I could see them doing 3. Like, the second one could wrap up the first book, and the third one could do Dune Messiah and close it out. And I think that'd be a pretty good trilogy. Just kind of complete his arc, but either way, they should have started already.
Yeah, you risk people losing interest and like forgetting if it's not even like started filming
yet. It's supposed to come out, what, in 2 years, something like that?
Too long.
It's too long.
I'm already bored.
Yeah. Also, like they're gonna get like old.
That's a pretty standard time in between a lot of movies is 2 years, but
yeah.
I mean, who's going to get old? Like, they're already adults.
They're already in their 20s, yeah.
They are, but like they're going to get like older. How do you say that guy's name? Timothy
Chalamet.
Timothy Chalamet.
Yeah, he's already like 26 or something. He's not going to get older.
But he will though.
It's not like the Harry Potter kids.
Not visible.
He doesn't have a puberty to go through.
He already did that.
Yeah.
The next movie, his voice is
No,
super
I mean,
deep.
I would totally agree with that if it's going to take them like 10 years to make it, but like they've already got it all planned out.
Yeah.
As long as they can get their shit booked, essentially, like they'll start filming it like probably in the spring.
Well, they better.
And get that filming done next year, and then spend the following time editing and whatnot. So.
Yeah, I assume that they had the actors they needed on option. That's the word
I'm sure
I was looking for.
Probably so.
And I think everyone wants to make this next movie, so they'll be like, "Cool, let me know when to show up."
Yeah.
So
probably so. Let's hope so.
And the nice thing is they can like film all their desert scenes if they want, live on a closed environment set or whatever the fuck they do now with COVID to film. So
yeah, they're all vaccinated and stuff. So
yeah,
I mean, the pandemic's over though, right? Like that's what everyone seems to be acting like. So let's just go, I guess.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's not.
No, it's fine.
But guess what? You can hide their masks in their still suit mask.
That's right.
Just have them wear their still suits are on set all the time. They'll be fine.
Pump the hand sanitizer through their little nose tubes, like.
I like the little nose tubes, but they didn't have them in like any of those pictures. They should have had it in like the movie poster, because she literally was wearing her like nose tube the whole time.
Yeah,
they wanted people to see the whole face, I guess.
Yeah, you don't want to cover up Zandaya's face. She's why you're going to the movie.
She's beautiful anyway.
Yeah,
she's there to help you kill that guy.
Yep. Yeah, Levi kept being like, when is Mary Jane going to be in this?
Yep.
When's MJ gonna be in this?
Yeah.
Yep. She's a good MJ. I'll give her that.
She's a good everything. I like her a lot.
Yeah, because I like her in Euphoria as well. That was a good show.
That doesn't seem like my thing, but I bet she's good in it.
She is. She's very good in that.
I saw part of an episode of that, and it didn't seem like I was going to enjoy it very much.
I mean, you have to watch the whole series, like the whole season, really. It's not every part of every episode feels great.
No,
but it all
not
goes
the part
together.
I saw.
So
felt pretty bad. I want to shift over to the book, but any other thoughts about the movie?
Just that I need to watch it again, and
yeah,
maybe we'll talk about it when we talk about the book. I can't remember. I was only thrown off a little bit by having like languages for the different planets.
Yeah,
from different groups. I'm like, I guess just the nobles all speak like a common language too. Because I'm like, it's far enough in the future, everyone can have their own languages, but I just didn't really expect to hear it and see it. But that was pretty cool too.
Yeah.
Does the Sardaukar have their weird language? There's a Harkonnen one. All that kind of stuff too. Of course, there's Fremen, like they speak their own.
Yeah.
Right.
But, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know, for me, it was like, why do all these other people have a funny language? Oh, why wouldn't they, I guess? And then the nobles, it would make sense. Yeah, they're all part of the Landsraad and all that shit, so they'd have a common language they would speak to each other.
Right.
So,
I don't really remember them saying they had a common one, but it felt like every single person, like, different planet, different, like, job, had their own secret language. But
I mean, that's fair, too.
In the book, we just all understood it, like, as much as we needed to, so.
Right.
Danielle, anything else to say on the movie?
I liked Paul's freckles. Those were precious.
Yep, they were.
Wait, where am I supposed to know Timothée Chalamet from?
He's been in he was in something. He was nominated for an Academy Award, like Call Me by Your Name or something, I think is what it's called, but I didn't see that. But he was also in the remake of Little Women that I watched. He was the one, Laurie, I think is his name.
He was Beth?
He was Laurie. Okay. I mean, he's been around.
Yeah, he's in things. Things that get recognized.
I recognize the name, but I don't recognize him very well.
He's a good actor.
Yeah, he was good.
Yep.
Okay, so the book, right? It was written in 1965, so... so, I mean, there's a lot to cover in the book, and I don't want to do that thing, but I do want to say, like, this is, like, exactly my kind of sci-fi, and so I read it very quickly. But I guess this means I'm a big fan of soft sci-fi, where they're just like, we'll tell you enough, but you don't need to know how any of the shit works. Just they inhale the spice, and that takes care of things. It's fine.
Yeah.
That's just like a drug.
That's true.
Basically.
Space drug.
Just having drugs.
It's worm poop.
Ew.
Yep.
I liked the worms.
The makers. Yeah.
It reminded me of the Zombies Ate My Neighbors game. Does anyone know what I'm talking about?
The sandworm.
From Sega.
Absolutely.
And that, I mean, they had so many levels, and like I never got past that sandworm one because it was so hard. Like never passed it. I don't. It was like way up there in numbers what the level was, and just reminded me of my childhood. Yep. These sandworms.
You couldn't have been a Fremen man because you couldn't ride the sandworm. Sorry.
Right.
Sorry. But yeah, I think probably my favorite thing in the book was just all the different like groups of people and how they are all hypersensitive in their own way. Like the Mentats who are like human computers because they don't really have computers.
Right.
And Jessica's group, the Bene Gesserit, who are so attentive to like attitudes and details that they can basically read minds.
Yep. And do other things.
And do other stuff. Like convince you to stab your friend on your ornithopter. Like
Yeah.
But I really bought into that. And even in the second book, when you start getting into like face dancers and stuff, I'm like, okay, this is pretty cool. I'm into it. So I wanted to talk about some of the main themes in there and whether you thought they were really effective. Because I think like the main thing seems to be about the power of false prophecy. And basically Paul and Jessica using that to their advantage throughout the whole series, the whole book.
Is it false, though, when that's been the goal of an organization for, like, thousands of years? Like, this is where that was going, so it's all been engineered to be that way.
Yeah, well...
So does that make it false or not? Like,
that's a fair point.
I don't know.
I don't know
if
false
get what you're saying
is the
with that, too.
right word, but, like, they, it was not so much false as they're like, well, we'll just start telling this story and eventually... Whenever someone fits it, they can take advantage of it.
Like thousands of years ago in your culture.
Yeah.
And it will become this like really important thing for you because we've decided you're gonna play this role in the future of helping make this come true.
Yeah. I guess it felt more false to me because there were several parts where they'd be like, "Hey, do you know the secret thing you're supposed to say?" And Jessica's like,
Is it this?
Yes. And like, oh God, it's you. You did it.
Yeah, right.
It's you.
It's like, I had that written down in my other pants pocket. Left it on the other planet. Shit.
I mean, yeah, that is part of it, type of deal, and like it all just plays into I think the main lessons of the Paul story, like, which is why I also get upset with people when they come in going, "Oh, it's a white savior tale." Like, no, it's not. You need to read the other books.
I don't know if I'd call him a savior.
Exactly. That's exactly how you should say it, too.
Right.
Like, I don't know. He's not really a savior.
I mean, he saved himself pretty well, but...
Well, I mean, he does change the fate of the Fremen and brings them greater freedom and renown.
That's true.
But it's kind of like, at what cost, too.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah. So with all these different people in the book that are, functionally psychic, like, I thought a mechanic that was in the book that kind of let the reader in on that too was, like, they start each chapter with an excerpt from a history book that hasn't been written yet.
Right.
And we're like, oh man, that Dr. Yue, what a shithead.
Yep.
I'm like, I think something's up with this Dr. Yue. I don't trust him anymore.
It didn't end well for him.
No.
Really didn't.
He shouldn't have trusted those Harkonnens to play by the rules.
Right.
But when they got your Weef, like...
That's true.
You gotta try to save her.
Yeah.
But still should have seen it coming. Like, they're not gonna honor their word, dude. They're Harkonnens. Like, come on.
Yeah. Something they made a big point of in the book and in the 84 movie is his, like, Imperial training.
Mm-hmm.
Do you notice that come back and play ever again, or is that just like a thing? He's like, he shouldn't be able to be manipulated, but yeah, he was.
I don't remember. I think it's just more pointing out that, hey, this is supposed to be incorruptible.
Yeah.
And there's this training to ensure that, and it didn't work in this case.
Right.
So that's a big deal. Type of thing. Like, this is so unusual that it shouldn't happen, but yet it did.
Yeah.
But that makes them trustworthy too, like Mentats and whatnot too, so that they can work in all the different houses and stuff, and they're generally okay and safe as like a class,
right?
Like a semi-guild, like they're okay to operate because of their trainings and background and all that stuff.
Right. So yeah, not only did those little excerpts make me feel psychic, because I'm like, yep, this is what's going to happen, but also, like, it sort of leads you astray too, because, like, most of them are written by Princess Aurelian, or whatever her name is.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And then she's not even in the book till the very end, like, oh, there she is. And she's like, oh, I fucking hate this guy, he's the worst. Like, I don't want to marry that dude. I hate him. So you thought this was, like, his ally the whole time, telling a tale of, again, the white savior, but it's not. It's not.
It doesn't really apply either, because it's 20,000 years in the future.
Mm-hmm.
Like, none of our shit really applies to them anymore. They're just repeating patterns of old.
Right.
In a new setting, so...
And something that is more apparent in the book than in either of the movies is the way that he's kind of mixing all the different religions and cultures into a single pot. Like...
Yeah,
right.
They talk about, the jihads and the Hajj that they have to go on, and he's got Bibles and whatnot, so quoting Christian apostles and stuff.
Yep.
But he didn't. I don't think he even mentioned that Earth had been a place until the second book. So
yeah, because like it's like Foundation too. Like you get so far in the future, like people forget about Earth.
Yeah.
It becomes like a myth. Like
Right.
sure, there was an old Earth. We don't know. We don't know where it is. Or like in Dune, you can find that out. Like in Foundation, they never really figured out where Earth was until like later. But like they didn't know. Like, oh well, we came from the place like that. We don't know where it is or stuff like that. You know.
All right.
So, which is interesting to me because of how, of course, wrapped up we are on our own planet, as we should be.
Right.
But to think of a time where like people would not know where Earth is.
Well, I mean, they would be wrapped up in their planet.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you think about the fact that there probably isn't faster than light travel, like it's going to take like 10,000 years to get anywhere. And it's going to take like at least 5 years to talk to anybody.
Right.
So, like, it doesn't, I don't know. Anyway, in real life, it's going to be very different.
Right.
Yeah.
Agreed.
You would have to very much be on your own.
Yeah.
And just be like, well, we came from here, and every now and then we talk to people, but this is it. This is our home.
Yeah. I think, Chris, like you were saying, people misinterpreting the idea of the white savior. Like, do you think this book has the issue where they make their anti-hero like too cool for the message to really stick?
Maybe.
I'm thinking of like, Fight Club, like, oh man, Tyler Durden is so cool. Like, no, he's insane. Like, he is a terrorist. A terrorist.
Yeah, I think some of that happens, especially in Dune.
Yeah.
With Dune just alone, like, people could definitely be like, oh, look, he gets all these near superpowers and can do all this cool shit.
And that's good.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But then they don't finish. So.
Yeah. I'll be interested to see how they cover, like, Paul's sister.
Yeah.
Aaliyah.
Me too.
Who
is she not born yet?
Yeah, she was in Jessica's belly.
Yeah, but he knew.
Yes.
He knew.
Right. He knew, because, his training. A child born with, like, all the experiences of all of the Bene Gesserit mothers immediately when she's born. Like, that's going to be interesting.
Yeah, it's going to be.
I'll be also interested to see how much they get into the drug use and how they depict that. Like, because it seems like from here on in, Paul spends a lot of time, like, completely out of his mind on spice.
Yeah.
Well, it's everywhere in the environment he's going to be in. Like, you can't basically be ingesting spice all the time.
Yeah, and he's ultra sensitive to it, so.
Yeah.
It's going to be...
He's going to have some fun trips there.
Yeah. And speaking of trips, so the David Lynch movie, right? Fucking bonkers.
Yes.
But...
Absolutely.
But... not in any way that felt invalid. I'm like, okay, well, I guess you didn't need to make the navigators, whale monster guys.
Right.
But he sure did.
Right?
With talking vagina mouths. Like, okay.
Oh, God, I forgot about
I liked the shields they put on.
Oh, yeah, the shields
where they
that
were
are
like a box thing.
Yeah, cubic prisms.
That was cool.
Somebody described those as like Roblox shields.
Yeah, that's kind of what it looked like. I was like, look at that high tech.
Yeah. Yeah, like if anyone got the idea of the drug trip down, that was it. Like,
yep.
But again, like it felt like the never-ending story visually, but I really liked it. Like, it's just that insane that you're like, all right, okay.
Yeah,
took the book the opposite way. Like, who cares what the helicopters looks like? It's a fucking Duplo. We're gonna fly that through a space straw. It'll be great. I don't I didn't go back and check, but I felt like he added some things in there. Like he pulled some stuff for later books, but also made up some things like vocal guns. That if you say Paul's name, it kills people. Like my name's a killing word.
Oh no!
No, that was a thing, right?
I don't recall.
Yeah, that was
I didn't remember it.
That was the weirding way.
Oh,
that was part
okay.
of the weirding way, anyway.
Was that part of like the voice or?
I think it's a separate thing.
Separate thing.
Yeah,
but
as I recall, it's a separate.
I remember them
the voice
mentioning
as depicted is pretty fine in the new movie.
Yeah, I remember them mentioning her saying that. Well, I'll teach you how I fight, but
yeah,
I don't remember him being like, "You'll just be like, brah," and people will blow the fuck up. Like,
well, they had like some kind of a device too, I guess that like
I've
went
heard
along
that's
with
the
it.
big thing with that one that people talk about is changing that to try to make it a little more understandable for the audience. I don't know.
oh, whenever they do it for the new series, is that what you mean?
In the '84 movie.
Oh, okay.
That they made it that way to make it make more sense.
Yeah. Well, and I also kind of appreciate the way he's like, well, I'm going to take the time to build it up, and then fuck it, it's over.
Yeah.
He meets the Freeman, and it all works out. The end.
Yep.
Like Naked Sting, why?
Ew.
Yeah.
Why not?
I didn't see that.
I mean, he
but
wasn't
ew.
all the way naked, but like,
Right.
just okay,
It's the 80s.
go for it.
Why not?
The Baron, like as Harry Potter's aunt, why? Like just this blimp guy who flies around, like.
Yeah.
They talked about him having like some sort of suspension unit in the book because he was so fat, but I did not picture him like zipping around like.
Yeah.
Or like pus-filled face, like murder raping boys. Jeez.
Oh
God.
yeah.
It was a little.
I forgot about that part.
And then showering off in oil because that's what you do when you murder rape people. Like, God, weird. But in a way, like the whispered internals were distracting, but also like okay, very Lynchian. It's like,
yeah.
I'm going to tell you exactly what I'm thinking, but whispering it.
Yep.
Yeah. But it should be noted that Kyle MacLachlan has always looked that way.
Yep.
To this day, he looks exactly like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
And even in
Mayor of Portland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even in a room with people who are definitely like 30 or 40 years older than him, he seemed like the oldest guy. Like it's like towering over everyone else in the scene. Like it's supposed to be your child, like your Dukelet, but okay,
Yeah,
it's fine. Yeah, I feel like I'd probably watch that 2 or 3 times before I watch this new one again. Just because there's a new bit of insanity you can appreciate every time.
Oh yeah.
You know, something you missed. Anyway. So I wanted to ask, like, so if you liked this movie, the new movie, what else would you recommend people seek out as like something in the similar vein? Any recommendations? I'll let you think. Because I sure don't have any, but
The Hunger Games, is that right?
sure.
Like what's popping in my mind, at least for like sweeping visuals, is that Tom Cruise, what was it, Oblivion? I think so. It's kind of a weird story, but I've always liked it.
Yeah.
So, at least for part of a similar-ish feel for some of it.
Mm-hmm.
Because that one has a lot of like interesting little flying vehicle.
Yeah.
And like I said, big sweeping vistas and kind of a different feel to it.
So Oblivion.
Yeah.
For sci-fi
That's probably a
visuals
good
and
one.
stuff.
Yeah, people could check that out. The story can be a little lackluster sometimes for some folks, but it's worth a shot. It's worth a watch.
Fair. Other Chris, you were about to say something.
I don't know in terms of like movies, because I feel like this one is I mean, I feel like Dune is pretty singular, I guess.
Fair.
Like it's pretty unique even in terms of sci-fi. But there was probably, I'm sure I talked about it on this before, but there was a book called Nine Fox Gambit.
Oh yeah,
Yoon Ha Lee.
Yeah, you did mention that.
Yep.
That was like very far future and very exotic kind of weapons that don't make any sense. Like they operate on some kind of technology that you can't even fathom, and they do things that like warp reality. Oh. And somehow it's all based on the calendar. And like I've never been able to understand this. Like you have like heretics who are trying to set up a new calendar, and like the calendar where people are following it like sets up like a different space where like all of a sudden the weapons for the people that are using this other calendar don't work right. Like it's really bizarre and really cool, and it's also incredibly violent. Because some of these weapons, the things they do, like pretty fucking awful. Yeah. But and there was also I would also mention Revelation Space by Alastair Reynolds. Okay. That would be a good one to check out too. Okay. Like just another like far future. That one's a little bit more like sort of I feel like more realistic in terms of how the future might be. With like how people transit between planets and sort of like I don't know, the sorts of people that you might find in space, I guess. Right. But then you have also like some really weird sort of ancient spacefaring civilization type things happening too. Right. And some intrigue around that.
I like intrigue.
Yeah.
Cool. Danielle. Yeah. So, what did you think this movie was gonna be like, and what movie would you rather have watched instead of a recommendation?
I have no idea. It looked really cool. It looked kind of like, I don't know. I don't even know what it looked like. I know I watched the trailer and I'm like, wow, that looks fun. And then just was kind of boring. So I don't know. I would watch Free Guy again. Again. I'd watch that again.
No, you'd watch Star Trek Beyond.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. I like the new Star Treks with the Chris Pine.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, I don't roll too deep in sci-fi, so I don't have a lot of back catalog to recommend, although I got the same kind of feeling reading through Dune as I did when I was reading through Game of Thrones, which is fantasy, but the same kind of like world building,
right?
Different warring classes and stuff and complex stuff. And I mean, I don't know, I felt like there was some ancestry in Game of Thrones from Dune, like, you know, the murdered patriarch and a banished prince/princess going to live with, you know, a tribe in the desert.
Yeah. Right. And I mean, if you think about it, like George R.R. Martin is also a sci-fi author, first of all. Right. And you think about like the world of Game of Thrones, it's not Earth. Right. 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 It's some other place that has some other weird eccentric orbit or something.
Yeah, more calendars.
So like he's clearly thought about like, you know, some situation where people have gone to another planet or something and then have been isolated. Right. Like they don't have the technology that they had when they showed up there or something.
Right.
You could really think about it that way.
Fair enough.
You could, yeah.
Yeah, but if I was going to recommend a movie that mixes like bonkers sci-fi stuff of the 84 movie with at least an attempt at modernness of this one, I'm going to recommend Lost in Space with Matt LeBlanc. Because if you haven't seen it, it's bonkers, but it's also kind of fun. Like nowhere near as deep, obviously, but or I don't know, Event Horizon, whatever.
Oh, jeez.
Give yourself trauma instead.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, you know what? Actually, I don't know if you really want something weird, something trippy. You could watch Solaris.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, was that good?
I enjoyed it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's not an action-packed movie. It's definitely more of a cerebral thing.
Is this the original or the George Clooney one?
I was talking about the George Clooney one, but either one works.
Okay.
Yep.
But basically, like, you have I don't know, like some people in orbit around kind of a living planet, I guess.
Okay.
That is fucking with them telepathically.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's weird.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's basically what's going on.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds intriguing.
That's all you need to know. Go watch it.
Yeah. And Gravity.
And George Clooney again.
Yep.
And then
Can't
Gravity.
repeat that too much. Yep.
To bring it back to Earth.
Yep.
Actually, you can skip Gravity. Not worth it.
Too long.
Too long. Too implausible. Or
man.
Passengers, right, hun?
I like Passengers.
Your favorite movie.
Passengers
I like
was okay.
It's fun.
All right. So, I feel like we have two strong recommendations for the movie. One, not recommended, but hopeful for the future.
Yes.
I recommend all of it. Movie, if you like this movie, go read the books so be ready, and then you can be annoying like me in your theater. And part 2 comes out, it's like...
That's right.
Yep.
Anyway, do you guys have anything else that's good?
I mean, people can always read the Foundation trilogy.
Yeah? Have you watched some of that show?
No.
No.
Not
I hear
yet.
that's
don't have
good
the
too.
Apple.
Do not have the Apple. But I'm gonna have to get it. I keep getting ads for like all these great movies and shows they have. I'm like, I need to watch that Foundation show too.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I like Foundation trilogy.
Foundation,
really
and you'd probably like For All Mankind too. That's on Apple.
Yeah, I'd probably like that.
That's space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard it's entertaining. So.
Yeah, I've heard it's really good. I haven't watched it, but. So Foundation is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay, Foundation.
It's a good read, and it might be a good watch. I don't know.
Is it just one book, or is it a series? 3 books.
Well, it's 3 original ones, and then he wrote some more before he died.
Oh, okay.
But I would just read the original trilogy to begin with, and then if you want to read Prelude to Foundation and the newer stuff later, you can.
Mm.
But
cool.
The original trilogy is more iconic.
All right.
It's more well known, especially for a 50s sci-fi, and it set up a lot of things, including the like capital planet that's covered in a city.
Oh, okay.
So stuff like that. That was all set out in Foundation.
What are you giggling about?
The internet.
Okay. Danielle recommends the internet. Okay.
I recommend
Always.
the internet.
Yeah, always.
Other Chris?
Yep. It will make you cry and make you laugh. The internet.
Yeah, I don't really have anything.
It's fair.
I
Not been that long.
I bought Metroid Dread, and it's on my table.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's first step.
I've been looking at it.
Awesome.
It looks neat.
Like I said, first step. Good first step.
Yeah. I like a Metroid every now and then.
Yeah.
I even liked other M.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Not as much as some of them, but I thought it was fine. I like pointing my controller at the TV to aim.
Yeah.
That was neat. I'm impressed by simple things. Danielle, do you have anything else that's good?
Apparently the House passed the infrastructure bill.
Just now?
Just now.
Wow.
So
That's
that will
really
go
good.
to Biden's desk and get signed.
That's pretty
Freaking
good.
finally.
They still haven't done the Build Back Better one, though, and, like, I don't know what's going to happen with that, because, you know, we've got some idiots that...
It will probably not get passed, because this is America.
Yeah.
But,
we don't do things that help the normal people.
But
we don't even really do things anymore.
I want to do the Hunger Games, but like with our politicians. Like, let's go. That would be very entertaining for me.
Put Lauren Babert against somebody.
Just put her against herself. She's that dumb.
Clone her.
She'll just like shoot herself.
But what about the appointment that we have on Sunday?
Yes, our children get vaccinated on Sunday.
Yay!
Finally!
Awesome.
Finally!
Woo. We didn't even have to pretend they were 12.
No, that they get to
Right.
get their actual dose for their actual age at an actual Walgreens.
Hooray.
Wonderful.
Woo! They're gonna appreciate it too.
Get everybody
And
vaccinated.
what I love is that as you're making all these appointments, like all these slots are filling up. Like it's like filled up through like over a week now. So like people are actually vaccinating their children here in Texas.
That's impressive.
Where we don't believe in science or medicine and COVID doesn't exist.
Right.
So I mean, it's kind of reassuring, but like not enough to make me want to continue to stay here long term.
Sorry, Texas.
Sorry.
You messed up.
You telling me Texas hasn't been good enough to you?
Oh man, my governor's actively trying to kill me. I mean, then we're getting cold, and like, have we done anything about the electric grid? Nope.
No.
So that'll be
freedom,
fun,
Danielle.
That'll be fun.
We have freedom in Texas.
No, but like
freedom to
also
freeze.
no abortions.
Yep.
No working electrical grid. But yes, you can carry a gun. It doesn't matter
You
if
don't
like
have to
you
get
shouldn't.
trained.
You can just have it.
Yep.
Right. Freedom.
Freedom.
Eagles.
Freedom spelled FREEDUMB.
Boom.
Free
Yeah.
dumb.
Roasted.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Fuck y'all.
Wow. Danielle took a dark turn today. That's what happens when you keep her from sleep.
You'll have to.
I'm
bleep
so
her.
tired. I'm not even sorry.
She'd say it to your face too. Don't worry.
I really would. Yeah.
So I also talk about a video game. I was playing Ori and the Will of the Wisps.
Okay.
Ah.
Which is pretty cool. It's kind of like a Metroidvania in the vein of like Hollow Knight, except more Prince of Persia-y than like fighty, stabby. So it's pretty neat. It's the general idea of, like searching through the forest and helping restore itself, just like with Kenna.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also got these parts that are, I don't know if it's I'm very bad, probably that, or just like very poorly designed, but like that I die probably 100 times trying to just get through the environment. I'm like there's a part where you're going through a cave and it's dark, and if you get too far into the darkness, you just die. So you have to go by these little lamps, and that'll give you a little bit of light for a minute till you get to the next lamp.
Okay.
But even if you still have time, if you get too far away, you're just dead anyway. Like, there's invisible instant death walls. And I'd probably spend an hour trying to get through that fucking section. I'm like,
And I was sleeping, which is the better option.
I'm going to choose to say that's good game design, because despite being like, this fucking game is... I kept playing it and got through it. So, so it can't be all
I don't
bad.
like frustration. Like, I'll do it sometimes, but other times I'm like, fuck this shit. And I put it down.
But it's pretty cool.
Oh, good.
Yeah. If you liked any of those other games I mentioned, it's worth it. It's progressing much quicker than a usual Metroidvania. Like, I'm getting new moves all the time, so I like that too. I also got Persona 5 and started that.
Hey.
You should. Yeah, definitely.
I heard it's really good.
Yeah.
I have it. I didn't play it much. I should do that.
And then
I played it before they did the re-release.
Yeah, the Royale.
So I don't know the extra story part, but I've been through it once.
Yeah.
I have Persona 5 from like 4 years ago, so I don't know.
Nice. Well, it was in the PlayStation Plus free game, so I'm like, all right.
Oh, okay.
Give it a try.
That's pretty cool.
And then I looked it up and learned it's a 100-hour game. I'm like, uh-oh. So I'll be.
It's really good, though.
Yeah, I'll be playing it for like months.
Yeah,
months and months.
Yeah.
I'm also interested to see, like, I guess you have a limited amount of time in game to do it.
Yep.
I don't like that idea. I need to be able to grind for the 100, like dozens of hours at the end.
Well, I mean, you can grind, I guess. Like the issue is that like you have to kind of manage your resources and your time, I guess. Like,
yeah.
So let's say that, like,
I can't do that in real life.
And there's also so let me get into this, why this is so complicated. All right,
I'm ready.
So you have a bunch of different stuff that you can do, right? Like there's like part-time jobs for making money.
Mm-hmm.
And you have, like, you can go into the dungeon and fight stuff, right? You can like do homework or some stupid thing, like watch a movie or read or whatever. You can go eat food. You can spend time with the people in your party. Yeah. Right. And that's like little story events that kind of move their relationship along.
Right.
But, like, you know, certain like relationship advancing things are only available at certain times.
Right.
And in certain places on certain days of the week or something, God. You know.
Okay.
And then like you can, if you go into the dungeon, like, say after school one day, you can stay in there as long as you want, but, like, you have to remember that you have, like, a limit on, like, healing items and your, like, magic points or whatever they call them in the game. So, like, you're not going to be able to stay there forever necessarily.
I gotcha.
But, like, so you end up having to find this, like, this balance between doing all of these different things.
Oh, yeah. That's going to be tough.
It is. It's, I mean, you can just wing it, you know, like it's not going to be optimal. You're not going to get to the end of, like, you just have to prioritize, like, whose story, I guess, do you want to actually see, and, like, who's important to you, I guess. And
fair enough.
But you can also, like, heavily optimize everything and see, like, every part of the game pretty much going through.
Okay. What if I just watch a movie the whole time? Use all of my time to just watch movies. Probably not
eat sushi.
I mean, there wouldn't be a point. Like, you get I want to say, when you do stuff like that, like, you get certain bonuses, certain like skill advancements, kind of.
Okay.
But, like, there wouldn't be a point to doing it beyond, like, you can't get the same skill advancement again or something.
Okay. I gotcha.
There's only so many.
Yeah. Well, it looks cool. I'll be interested to see how that works out for me. I'm thinking back to, like, how I play, like, Final Fantasy Tactics, where I get to the first battle and I level my guys up to 99 then. So this could be bad for me. Like, this might not work.
Well, I mean, if you just like honestly, like, you can just play it on easy. Yeah. And you will never have to grind. Okay. Like, you'll never have to do anything difficult.
Good call. Easy mode is for people with jobs.
Yeah.
That's how I started The Witcher 3.
Perfect. But I also, like, I did eventually get everybody to level 99. Like, everybody.
Nice. So, does it have a New Game Plus, or you just optimize your time that well?
Yeah, it does have a New Game Plus.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then I maybe won't panic so much, but cool. Yeah. All right.
I have one more good thing.
What's that?
I read. This is speculation because it hasn't been confirmed. That Chris Evans is going to be 2021's sexiest man alive on People magazine, which I fully approve of.
Did you need the confirmation to know you thought he was sexy? Or?
Well, I know, but, like, everybody needs to know.
She needs everyone else to know for sure.
We will know for sure on Tuesday, but I do look forward to that.
Also, he's going to be Buzz Lightyear. Cool.
Oh, yeah. I heard about that.
He's not only sexy in that, like, he's obviously a good-looking dude, but, like, he's got a good heart, and he's smart.
And a dog.
He's got a wonderful dog. He's like the whole fucking package.
One time he dated Jenny Slate.
Oh, and they were so sweet together.
But then they didn't date.
I know.
Oh well.
I love him.
She missed out, baby.
She has a baby with somebody else now, so she's probably alright.
But it's not a Chris Evans baby.
No, but she's fine.
Yeah.
She's good.
She could have been. Their baby could have been the Dune Messiah, which the specific name I'm forgetting now. The Kwisatz Haderach or whatever.
Yep.
Anyway, but I thought that we should end on a high.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
sounds good.
Just remember, Chris Evans is damn fine.
Yeah.
Especially in 2021,
potential.
but also in every other year.
Potentially, officially,
America's ass.
That is America's ass.
He will officially be hot. Potentially.
Right.
Winning awards for being good looking.
Mm-hmm. We already just discussed it. It's not just the looks.
No,
right. It's the whole package.
Yeah. Yep. But probably not for the magazine award.
No, but I bet they talk about it.
Well, you never know. They'll talk about it.
They'll talk about it. He has he has I don't know if you call it a company, but he does this thing called a starting point that is into like politics, and it talks about different like bills and government stuff, and like talks to different members of both parties, and like trying to get people more involved and educated on the government. Like, it's a really good program. I think he's going to get into government someday. His uncle was. He used to be something for somewhere, but he's not anymore. I think he was in Massachusetts. I'm not really sure. He had a very Italian sounding name. Mm-hmm. But he really likes politics, so I think he'll get involved because he's actually a smart dude. He also really likes science. He always posts sciencey stuff.
Plus, like, he can move Mjolnir, so, like, he's a good dude.
Yeah, like, he's worthy. We all know he's worthy. Right. And he can wear the hell out of a cable net sweater.
Yep.
Yeah.
I saw it.
These are all his good qualities.
These are all facts.
I could talk about him all night. Do this all night.
He was his best role to date. Not another teen movie.
No, his best role. His best role, honestly, is in the movie Gifted, in which he starred with Jenny Slate, which is where I think the relationship started. Like, he was really good in that. If you haven't watched it, you should watch it. It's good. Best
role to date, Scott Pilgrim.
Scott, that is actually hilarious. I do like him in Scott Pilgrim.
Yep.
Anyway, that's all.
All right.
That's all I got for real.
That's all. Mm-hmm. Danielle's going to go look at her phone in the bathroom now.
In the bathroom.
That look.
Look at pictures of Chris.
No, I'm going to go to sleep now because I said that you had an hour and it's gone well over that. So.
Oh, I guess you're right.
Okay. Yeah, that's true. So,
all right, bye.
Anyway, peace out. Bye.
All right, bye.
Yep.
Okay, that was our session for today. Your homework this time: find us online and let us know what you thought of Dune, any of the versions. Were the prophecies about Paul false if he and his mom forced them to become true? Was Lynch's bonkers version of the movie the right direction for the story? Is it worth reading the rest of the books in the series? Should Jason Momoa be allowed to shave his beard? We're on the tweets and the Facebook, although maybe lean towards Twitter because Zuckerberg is the worst. We're at PodRTFB over there. So as I was amassing my on-second thoughts for this episode, I realized I had another reviewer available to comment on the movie, and he was living right under my own damn roof. So I called him in to share his reactions as well, and here's what he had to say.
Yo.
Okay. Hey, so you saw Dune, right?
Yeah.
What did you think?
It's kind of boring.
Kind of boring? Why?
There was too much talking.
Too much talking?
But I like the action scenes.
Yeah. What was your favorite part?
In the last 20 minutes when that dude was fighting the other dude from the pack.
Oh.
And he's like, I didn't want to.
The main guy, Paul.
Uh-huh.
Was fighting the other guy from the Fremens.
Yeah, and the girl gave him the knife.
Yeah. When MJ gave him a knife.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What was your least favorite part?
All the talking.
Enough.
Really, the beginning I feel was a little bit boring because it kind of didn't get like right into it, you know?
Yeah, took too long.
Yeah, I think it took so long.
All right, you still think you're going to read it?
Yeah, I'm probably going to still read it.
All right.
But I don't know when I'm going to start reading it.
Right. Well, no rush. You said they had Dune skins in Fortnite?
Yes, they do.
Do you have one?
No, but I can buy one.
Are people using it?
Yeah.
Do the sweats use it or no?
No.
No.
Some people, I've seen a couple people using it, but it's not a sweat skin.
Yeah. All right.
It wasn't the biggest collaboration they've done.
Yeah. Would you recommend this movie to your friends?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just be aware it's boring.
Just beware. Some parts of it get really boring, but you want to watch to the end. It's really good.
Okay, so it's worth it at the end.
Yeah.
All right. So, one thing we also do is we do what else is good. So, tell me about Team C's.
Oh, well.
What is Team C's?
Okay, so Team C's is this organization.
Right in there.
This organization being run by Mr. Beast and Mark Rober on YouTube.
Now, wait a minute. Who is Mr. Beast?
Mr. Beast is one of the biggest YouTubers who does these challenges with his friends, and he does some pretty questionable things with his money. And
Questionable.
Yes, he gives away a lot of money. He does these challenges, and he lets his subscribers do it. Yeah, he's not in some of these videos. He's not earning back the money he's giving away. He's giving away like 20 grand at least once in this video.
Okay, so what about for Team C's?
So Team C's, it is what Mark Rober and Mr. Beast are doing. They're collaborating, and they are cleaning out the sea. They're trying to get $30 million. They right now have $12 million raised at the moment. And basically every dollar that you donate, that's 1 pound of trash taken out of the ocean. And what they've done is they made this big video, and all these other YouTubers are like spreading it, probably donate to it.
Okay. So you did like your own little challenge to raise money for it, right?
Yeah.
What did you do?
I took Fortnite, and every kill I got, with a harpoon gun, I would donate $1, and I ended up donating $5.
All right. So you got 5 kills, right?
Yeah.
With the harpoon gun.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. You already gave me $5 to donate. Boom.
What?
I'm going to make it 50.
What?
So I'm going to put it here in your name. Go.
Thanks,
Good
Dad.
work. All right. Thanks, Levi. Bye.
Bye.
All right. Thanks, Levi, for your input. Everyone go check on hashtag Team Seas and help clean up the ocean. Also, what the hell? Throw in a shout out to hashtag SeaQuest Return since we're talking about the sea. Help fuel a fan demand for more episodes of SeaQuest DSV. And last but not least, rest in peace to the original Dr. Yue, Dean Stockwell. A sci-fi icon for sure. Today's episode was compelled to be recorded by a scary mom voice, with thanks to Chris Ham, Chris Other Chris Jacobson, Danielle Neither Chris Rowe. It was edited by me, Travis Rowe, and was sponsored by no one in particular. Until next time, keep fucking reading.
What?
What happened?
Going off?
Who's talking?
Is
To
that
your, to your
Alexa?
machine.
Alexa.
Alexa, no.
Nobody was talking.
Alexa,
to her.
no.
She wants
Bad.
you to have an appliance.
Apparently.
She thought you were trying to turn your fridge on or something like.
They're
Well,
always
joke's on
listening.
her. Our fridge can't talk to her. Maybe
Yeah.
it can, but I don't want it to.
Fridges don't need
yeah,
to
so,
talk
like,
to anyone.
Well,
I'm on
I used to
record.
think they should, but now I don't think it's necessary. So
Right.